Hi guys, welcome to today's video. So for today I wanted to do absolutely unclockable, unnoticeable, undetectable, 2 inches away from the face, unforeseeable makeup. I've practiced this a lot. Being a guy, I have really experimented with a lot of different products that I can put on that you can't tell I have anything on. So this tutorial is perfect for guys. It says it's a guy's grooming video, or it may say that. I don't know what I'm going to put in the title, but it is going to have grooming elements to it as far as like a beard goes, but this works for anybody. There is no reason you as a girl cannot do the exact same tips and routine I'm talking about, obviously minus the male grooming stuff, or if you want to, do it up. But it is bringing you through the steps that is quick, easy, and undetectable. So I'm going to bring you all the way from how I prep it to how I finish it, just to get that kind of seamless look without being able to really tell you have anything on at all. In any lighting, any time of day, no matter how close someone is to you. Let's get started and I'll bring you through the whole routine. Okay guys, so to start this video out, I cannot express the importance of skincare. So when you are trying to make your makeup look undetectable, something a lot of people don't realize is you actually have to take better care of your skin. That's one of the biggest myths, is people think, okay, I barely want to wear any makeup, so since I'm barely putting anything on, what does it matter that my skin looks like? Believe it or not, when you have worse skin, it is more undetectable when you're doing full coverage makeup and you're piling it on, which is fine. You can cover texture because you're putting so much on. If you have dry skin patches, if you have flakiness around the nose, in between the eyebrows, these are all the areas that I have the worst dryness. When you're putting something very minimal on, a tinted moisturizer, powder, and you have that dryness, it's going to accentuate it 10 times more than if you put a full coverage foundation on. Because when you're putting foundation on the skin, you're actually building up a layer of makeup that it's God only knows what the texture underneath that makeup even is. But when you're putting something so sheer and minimal on, you're seeing your skin's texture, so you actually have to take better care of your skin, which I know sounds shitty, but you should be taking care of your skin, especially if you're my age, late 20s, not yet 30, but almost 30. You have to. I mean, it's like working out. You got to take care of yourself, and if you don't go to the gym, you're not going to get in better shape. If you don't exercise, you're not going to get in better shape. If you skip your skincare routine at night, if you're not doing everything you're supposed to be doing, your skin's not magically going to like not get dry, not get flaky, not get pores, not get lines, not get wrinkles. I can't tell you how many people, as a makeup artist, I sit down to start doing their makeup and they're in their 30s and they've told me they've never put moisturizer on a day in their life, yet want the makeup to look flawless. That's not going to happen. You have to take care of your skin. And I will tell you, the biggest mistake people cut out of their skincare routine or don't think they need to do that actually makes the biggest difference is exfoliating. So there's two kinds of exfoliants. There's a physical exfoliant, which is something I'm sure you've used. It has beads in it. You kind of wash your face with it and it's got the little beads and sandy kind of rough feeling. That's a physical exfoliant. Then there's a chemical exfoliant. A chemical exfoliant is actually a product you're putting on your skin that is breaking down what is holding the dead skin to your new skin and removing it. So the best way it was ever explained to me when I worked for cosmetics and a skincare company was, think of it like a brick wall. And you want to get rid of that brick wall. That is the dead skin, that is the dry skin. When you are using a physical exfoliant, you're jackhammering the wall. You're trying to get rid of the bricks. For a lot of people, that may not be the best routine. It can inflame your skin. Sometimes there's fragrance in physical exfoliants. It can irritate your skin. It actually does make little micro kind of tears and scratches to the skin. So this is why I actually much more recommend a chemical exfoliant. So for our metaphor's sake, a chemical exfoliant is not jackhammering the wall. It's actually putting a coat of something on that brick wall, and it is dissolving the grout in between those bricks. So the brick wall falls away, and when you wash your face, everything kind of floats down the drain. It is a much safer way, as long as you're using the right products, to exfoliate the skin. So I would consider this drugstore, especially for a chemical exfoliant, but my holy grail whenever I go to do my makeup and I see that I have texture, which my number one texture areas are my nose, the center of my brows, around my brows here, I have enlarged pores here and here. That tends to be around the lips, under here, very much in the T-zone. Even on the forehead, sometimes I can see little dry skin. Holy grail is these. It is the Pixie Glow Peel Pads. So these are made up of 20% glycolic acid and rose water. So these are, I would consider drugstore. They're at Target. I think they're $20, $22, and you get 60 pads. You do not do this every day. I will tell you, I do this maybe once a week, maybe once every 2 weeks. I would say I'm using it less because I'm getting ready less, because we're not going anywhere. But I can't even explain to you. I have nothing on my skin right now other than using this when I got out of the shower before I started filming. And the texture that this leaves your skin feeling is, I mean, unbelievable. Before I went in the shower, I could see on my forehead especially little white dead skin. And even here and here on my nose, when I go to put makeup on it or anything on it without using these, night and day of a difference. So you take the pad out of it, and you just take one pad, you rub this all over the skin. I'll kind of wrap it around the finger, work it in the skin. I will really work the areas that get the driest. Avoid the under eyes, like where you would put eye cream, and on the lips. It's thinner skin, it gets a little more irritated everywhere but those areas, and the eyelids. Don't do those. Work it in well. Let it sit for about 2-3 minutes, because the acids are actively working on the skin to dissolve, like I'm saying, those oils and what's holding that dead skin to the surface of the skin. And then you're going to rinse this off 2-3 minutes afterwards, cold water, and it stops those acids from working. Your skin will feel like a baby's ass. And then I will finish that. I'll go in with a serum and a moisturizer. For moisturizer, if you don't want to do serum, you should be doing serum. I'll make a skincare video later on explaining why you need to use a serum. But if you don't want to use a serum, we're going to go right to moisturizer. So I'm out of my current moisturizer, and I'm opening the new one I got, which I'm so excited about. This is the It's Cosmetics Confidence in a Cream. This is brand new. It's like opening a new jar of peanut butter. Could not be more satisfying. And oh, look at this. Wow. Look at her. So we are going to go in with this. This is just one of my favorite moisturizers. I use this for a long time, and I'm telling you, it's by far one of the best moisturizers I've used for a long period of time, that I saw a difference in my skin as I used it regularly. And I just think it makes my skin feel so soft. It has a lot of anti-aging properties, which you should really be looking into anti-aging skincare as you enter your 30s. If you're not in your early 20s anymore, you can't get rid of you can't get away with just hydrating your skin. You have to start using skincare that is anti-aging. And I think on top of it, to have no dead skin with this as your first layer, going in with your kind of seamless, invisible makeup underneath or on top of this is going to make the world of difference. So once this is worked into the skin, we are good to go, and we are good to move on to makeup. So before we even get into what I'm going to put on the skin, I just want to show the difference of that Confidence in a Cream. Takes down so much of my redness, and so does the peel pads, which makes a huge difference, because now I'm not even covering as much. That's why we can get away with putting on what we're going to put on. So for coverage, I would say you have two options. You can go in with a liquid, you can go in with a powder. I tend to go in with a liquid. I think it looks a little bit more hydrating. This is my absolutely holy grail of a tinted moisturizer. This is the Nars Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer. Yes, it's a little bit more on the expensive side, but you use barely any, so this lasts you, I'm pretty sure one bottle takes me 2 years to go through. I particularly use the color Finland. If you're new to this, if you're a guy that's never done this before, just go into Sephora, go into a Nars store, ask them to match you. You'll live. It's not that emasculating. It's worth it. If you want to take down the redness, if you want to even out the skin tone, calm down. Deal with it. For the Nars Tinted Moisturizer, we're going to go in with this. This is the e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush, and this is my holy grail for guy / absolutely invisible makeup because it's buffing it into the skin. If you're a guy, you may be thinking to yourself, I don't want to go out and buy a makeup brush. You can use your fingers, but I'm telling you, this will make your life a lot easier. I'm pretty sure this is $6 and it's going to make the world of difference for speed and invisibility. Using your fingers, it may not blend as well. It may be a little bit more noticeable. So you're going to take the littlest bit on the back of your hand. That is probably more than enough. So what I'm going to do now, we're going to dip into this, and I will take this, dot this around, and now this is a tinted moisturizer, meaning it's a moisturizer with a tint. So that, honestly, I don't really want to put any more on my face. So I'm going to rub this on the back of my hand, and then we're going to just work this in. And now, believe it or not, if you're a girl, feel free, if you want, bring it nice and high up those under eyes. If you're a guy, don't bring it under the eyes. I'll explain in a bit. But take this and blend it into the hairline. Do not stop around it or you're going to see a border. And now we may end up putting more on the skin now that we blended it, but the reason I took it off the back of my hand is because I'd always rather use less than I think than more than I think. So I'm taking a barely any bit more, dipping in like this, and buffing it around the mouth and into the beard. If you're a guy, don't skip this because the rest of your skin is going to look great, and your ears and your beard may be like beet red or a different color, and that's going to be noticeable. So now I'm going to take the littlest bit more, and we're going to do the eyelids. Look how red and discolored my eyelids look from the rest of my skin now. So we're going to take this and cover our lids. So now, this is the importance of this being so sheer, and also the importance of your skin being as hydrated as it is. So look at the difference of our skin here. Nothing. Nars. So see, it's fine if a little bit of redness and naturalness is peeking through. That's what invisible makeup is going to look like. It's not going to be completely covered, which is the point. I mean, then you wouldn't be looking for invisible makeup. You'd be wearing full foundation. So press this in. Okay, now we're going to take what's at the left on our hand, which is not a lot at all, which is why I didn't dot it around, and just doing the same thing on this side, not taking it up under the eye. The reason I love this Nars Tinted Moisturizer is because, I mean, it is literally a moisturizer with the littlest bit of coverage, and it doesn't aggravate any texture. It doesn't dry down dry. I took a little bit more, just that much. And same thing, taking a little bit at a time. Don't want to overwork it. And I just think this Tinted Moisturizer has the most awesome finish to it that is really untraceable. And like I said, I'm not going for perfection here because that's not the point of it being invisible or just as, untraceable as possible. You want your redness to show through. You want natural kind of tones to come through, but obviously within your control. You want it to be a little bit more flawless than when you started, or you wouldn't be putting anything on your skin. Okay, so now that we're done with that, which, I mean, you can see the difference of just how even my skin is compared to what it was. Ending here would be a mistake because now you look pale, you look flat. You want to add tone back into the skin. So you have two options. You don't have to set this with the powder. You can leave it as it is and just do a little bit of a bronzer on top of this. I personally like to set it, especially a guy. You're more oily, you may be sweating, or if you're a girl running around doing whatever you got to do, liquid moves on the skin if it's not set with a powder. By no means do you have to use a lot, but I like to use a little bit of something just to give me the security that it's not going to move. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent. Translucent means invisible. So we're going to take the littlest bit of this, powder brush, swirl whatever was in the cap, nothing too much at all. Tap that excess off and press it. Don't swipe because it's going to, we just spent all that time kind of blending out that tinted moisturizer as nice as we could. So if we swipe this, it's just going to move that around and mess up what we just blended. So This is also perfect for mattifying the skin, meaning it's taking away the shine. So it's actually making our skin look like skin again. So see, I don't have that shininess that I just had, and now everything is just matte and looks like skin. Again, not stopping here because it's a little flat. So we want to use a bronzer that's going to add a little bit of dimension back into the skin that is very undetectable. So we're not going to use anything with a shimmer in it. We want to use a matte bronzer. You can use something with a shimmer in it as long as it's a very finely milled glow, if that makes sense, because it can add a little bit of hydration to the skin or dewiness, especially as a girl. Feel free if that's your gig. But you don't want to do something that is shimmery, especially if you're a guy. Use a matte powder. This, drugstore, inexpensive, amazing. This is the Maybelline City Bronzer. For me, this is in the shade 200. Now you're going to take littlest bit and you're going to tap that off. Sometimes I'll even swipe on my hand just to get the bulk of that off, and we're placing it in these areas. Over the mouth, cheekbones, underneath, all the way down to the beard. I would dip again, same thing. I did a 1-2 pass, tap off. And you're doing under the cheekbone, here and here, in the beard. Okay, one more, 1, 2. Tap off. This is an important step. You're going to do around the hairline. Oh, a big thing too, swipe, tap it off. Don't forget your ears. For a guy, it's great to go under the jaw if you want to sharpen up that jawline a little bit more. And then another, this is where it would be different for guys and girls. If you're a guy, take that on that brush, tap that off, and I actually like to go and I like to put it on my eyelids, because this is why I was telling you not to put that tinted moisturizer under the eyes. So as a guy, this may seem weird, but when you see kind of male models, etc., a lot of the times you can see they have dark circles, and there's a very, when you're contouring the face, you want the brow bone, you want this as a guy, you want this to look more forward, to have that brooding brow, if you will, and adding that bronzer into underneath the brows gives more of a shadow where it's kind of creating that look. For a girl, if you're in a rush and you want to do this exact look, but you want it to be a little bit more intentional, don't use a big brush like this. Switch to an eyeshadow brush and run this through your crease. Or take your blush and run your blush through your crease to give yourself a little bit of an eyeshadow look, but you're using your bronzer or your blush opposed to busting out an eyeshadow. Put your blush on after this, pop on mascara and a lip, and you're good to go. So for a guy, we're leaving it at this as far as the face goes, but do you see the difference? Now we have warmth back into the skin. We have dimension into the skin. We're a little more highlighted in the center, but we have darkness around here, and we look like a human face. From this point, we're going to go into brows and or beard. So this, I'm using the e.l.f. brow pencil. I'm pretty sure this is $2. And I'm actually, even though I have dark hair, I recommend getting, this is in taupe, meaning blonde. This, you don't have to fill your brows. If your brows are bushy already, which a lot of guys are, you don't have to do this. But for me, I actually like to take this and just do the littlest bit of fill on the insides and on top, because I actually like my brows as a guy to look a little bit bushier and thicker. For a girl, you can be a little bit more intention with this if you want. And I always brush through with that spoolie. And it just gives, I don't know, a little, see that you can see the difference, just a little bit more hardiness to the brow, I don't know. So same thing on this side. And another reason I really like this is especially for guys when it comes to beards. So you can see from my beard, it's okay, but it's definitely got areas that it's a little bit patchy and I wish it was a little bit thicker. So with this fine point, I will take this and see my mustache disconnects a little bit here. Little strokes, almost just like this. I will fill, and I'll actually bring this up to my border of where I shave. I'll kind of make X's, crisscross patterns. I'll switch to my spoolie, and I'll run over that just to make sure I didn't do any line too harsh. After this, I'm going to switch to a brow gel that if you don't want to fill your brows too, like I did the step before this trick is really all you have to do. Now we're going to switch to that brow gel. This is the NYX Brow Gel. This is in the shade Espresso, I believe. Yes, and it is tinted, obviously. I'm pretty sure it's $5-6. I always finish off with this in the brows. When I first dip into a brow gel and I start to put it on, I start on the outside ends because it's better if the outside tails of your brow are more dark and defined. You don't want the insides of your brows to be that defined. So I'll actually use up all that's on this spoolie on the tails of my brows, and then I'll go in and, as a guy, and even honestly this is popular for everybody right now, take this and on the insides run this up because you want your brows to look more feathered. See that? And then for guys, I dip back in, and I was finishing up my last semester of college last year and I was stressed and my beard started to fall out, which is stress alopecia it's called. And right here I literally was losing, I had a whole chunk of my beard that was like bald and out. It grew back because in between that and coronavirus, I somehow got less stressed. But when it grew back white, more white than the rest of my beard. So this is key if you want to hide salt and pepper, hide any grays, that will do that. But this is also great for also making the beard on top of the eyebrow pencil we just used to fill in any gaps. This will disguise any gray hairs and make the beard look fuller. And I'll tell you too, as long as you're not obvious, I mean, I've even like rubbed it. Once this dries in like a couple minutes, this won't move on you. This won't rub off. It won't sweat off. It's really a great product for lasting, and it's not susceptible to heat. I've worn this out in the summer. I'm pretty sure I've even gone in water. It doesn't move. All right, that's that. And you can see the difference in just the depth of my beard. And I'm somebody too, my nationality, I'm kind of a weird mix of Italian. There's a lot of red and blonde in my beard that I don't love. I like my beard to just be brown more like my hair, and that does the trick. Our last step, you don't have to do this. I'm just showing you guys every single step I do to make it as invisible as possible. If you don't want to do it, that's up to you, but I want to arm you with everything possible. So we're finishing this off. We're going in with a little bit of setting spray. This is the Pretty Fresh setting spray by ColourPop. There's millions of setting sprays, to be honest with you. Don't even split hairs over what's going to make this last, because it's so little, it ain't going anywhere. So especially if you're doing that powder. So this step, believe it or not, is actually just to bring moisture back to the skin. This is to make that powder kind of dissipate, lay down flat, and just look a little bit more hydrated. So I shake this, spray this on, pat it in. But that's it, guys. Like I said, if you want to kind of adapt this, if you're a girl watching this video, you would do this, put some blush on, run some blush in the eyes, in the crease if you want, mascara, call it a day. It's really not that different. I just really wanted to show you guys how to get undetectable, flawless skin. Another thing I didn't mention, if you feel like the skin is too dark, don't forget to run a little bit bronzer on the neck. That'll kind of give you cohesiveness. I don't see that much of a difference for me that I would do that in this. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will link all of the products I use down below. I've worked really hard to come up with a routine over the years and test millions of products that I get the most unclockable, undetectable look, and this is definitely it. If you guys like this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell. I post new videos every single Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Give this video a like. Go ahead and follow me on social media for tons more content. You guys are great. I hope this helped, and I will talk to you soon. Have a good day, guys. Bye.